Most of us know that enrichment is important to increase animal welfare. Enrichment needs to be adapted to meet the animal's natural needs. But how easy or difficult is it to meet the animal's needs in captivity that looks so different to the life in the wild? It's also good to keep in mind that animals, just like us, avoid danger and previous negative experiences, and prefer activities that provide resources or previous positive experiences. I will now talk about enrichment from my point of view. What do I think about enrichment, and why do I think it's important? Humans are constantly enriching their environment with gadgets and activities that makes us feel good. How we do this is of course very individual. In addition, we are happy to continue looking for new enrichment as soon as we have met a need or a goal. The need for enrichment also changes with age. Children and young animals like to have toys and games in their everyday life, while adults have completely different needs. Have you ever thought about what your life would look like if you didn't have the opportunity to enrich it with gadgets and activities? Our enrichment can also have a different meaning for the animals. You have bought new pillows for your bed and may not be so happy when your cat expresses a wow for their new climbing wall. Or the walk with the dog. You want to go for a brisk walk to get some exercise, while your dog wants to explore the surroundings and smell everything that it finds interesting along the way. What are your thoughts about this? Are our needs more important than the animals, or do we choose to find a solution that suits us both? For example, your dog likes to run, and you don't. Have you ever tried letting your dog or horse decide which way to go when you go out for a turn? How do we define our challenge to give our animals a life as good as the one we constantly strive for? What are you looking for daily? And surely you can agree that the search itself is an activity, and finding what you're looking for is a reward. Let's start with food, as we all need to eat. We look for recipes and ingredients for our meals, and maybe we find something really yummy and get excited. Not to mention the feeling you get when you find a bunch of cantaloups when you are looking for mushrooms. The animals in the wild spend a large part of their time searching for food. Searching is an activity, and finding food is a reward. When we feed our animals in a food bowl or a crib, we remove an important part for the animal, the need to search. Maybe we can let the animals search for the food instead, indoors or outdoors. And maybe we can hide some goodies with the food so that the animals also get to feel excitement when they find something extra yummy. As a previous horse owner, I often think of all the horses in grassing-free pastures, or in the winter when the snow is covering the ground. Horses in the wild spend much of their time walking around grazing. From us, they get their hay 2 to 3 times a day if they don't have free access to the hay on a specific location. What would their lives look like if we instead spread their daily ration around the pasture so that they could search for the tufts of hay? Would the increased activity reduce the risk of colic and maybe result in fewer horses trashing their friends' blankets? If we don't have the opportunity or time to change the animals' feeding routines, we might be able to organize some search activities instead, a few times a week, to meet the animals' need to search. The need for activity is well known. Life would be very boring if we had nothing to do. Children and young animals have a greater need for play and toys. As we get older, these needs shift to different types of activation, even though some animals and humans love to play for life. Finding toys is easy. They are available everywhere, both in stores and online. The difficulty can be to find suitable toys that animal actually enjoys. Animals are also individuals, preferring different things, and just as humans need a variation with some news every now and then. Many animals also appreciate playing with us. If we play with our animals, it will not only be an activation, but it will also strengthen our relationship. If we play with the animals when they're young, there is also a greater chance they will retain the desire to play even when they get older. Reward-based training is also a fantastic enrichment for the animals. Some animals like to train a little every day, while others are very happy with a little extra activation a few times a week. If you want to get started with simple training, you can watch my target movie. Our home, the safe place where we can retreat for rest and recovery. How do we provide that safe space for our animals? Cats like places on different levels, or something to crawl into or down into. The mouse wants to build a nest and needs nesting material. Dogs like to make a bed. What does it look like when the dog has made a bed in your sofa? Regardless of how and where your animal wants to be when it retreats, it's important that this place is a protected place for your animal, a place where it can feel safe and undisturbed to be able to fulfill its need for recovery. Social contact and connection is very important to us, both in our workplace, with friends and with family. Exclusion and involuntary loneliness hardly give feelings of well-being, neither for us nor the animals. How do we ensure our animals' need for attention, company, and comfort? Do we take our time to cuddle with the cat or dog when it seeks contact and companionship with us, even if we are busy surfing on our computer? And do we pay attention to the small animal in the cage when it seeks our contact through the grid, even if we are just passing by the cage, set to do something else? Try to pay attention to and be available when your animal seeks your attention and comfort. Finally, enrichment is only enrichment if an individual is getting enriched by it. I hope this video has inspired you to think a little extra about how you can enrich the life for the animals in your care to increase their welfare. Some examples are: arrange simple search exercises a few times a week, play or train with your animals a few times a week, ensure to have enrichment your animals enjoy, and one or more places for rest and recovery. Make sure your animal gets attention and comfort, and through gentle and reward-based handling that I will talk about in my next video. You can follow me and my animals at Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm a certified dog instructor in puppy and everyday obedience, rally obedience, and dog parkour, with a general interest in animal welfare and reward-based handling and training. I train and compete my 3 dogs in rally obedience, with 1 start in the Swedish Championship 2019. I also produce digital dog courses at reasonable prices. Thank you for listening.